Ladies and gentlemen, it's grand final time here in the Call of Duty Championship New Zealand Qualifier. I have the pleasure of being joined by Mikester. We are into this series of Ignition versus Flair Gaming, and I've been given the hashtag intel that this should be one hell of a series.
It really should be. We've got last year's NZ champions taking on this year's favourites, and of course, just taking out recently the AVT LAN as well. The guys from Ignitionz have that prac in, whereas Flair have only really been playing in the last 2 weeks or so to try and get prep in. This is, I believe, their first competition as a team as well since since the previous title. So it's going to be an interesting one. We've got hardpoint retreat up first, though. First 3 points going in favour of Flair, but already getting wiped off over on this court hardpoint.
Yeah, with two teams this good and back on hardpoint on retreat, this first hardpoint is going to be all scraps as both teams vie for this all-important map position. Now, I just want to touch on the importance of this series, Meister. Now, all series in this tournament so far have been important. It is, of course, single elimination, but these guys have made it through to the final, and one of them will be going through to the Asia-Pacific finals, where they will face up against 7 of the Australian and Asian region's best Call of Duty teams. Of that competition, only 3 will be going through to the US. So this is a extremely important game. We've now got that first rotation. We're going to be seeing the hardpoint go down to the bottom left side of your map, which is going to be down near the turtle, the statue for those of you playing at home. And we've got Zeus down here for Ignitionz, able to pick up the very quick kill on No Skill. Going to follow up the 2-piece. Going to get the third. No, he was going to be able to get the tags, but it was just going to be a too good of a play there by Zirkle. We've got Killerpie and Backabeth both getting kills here, but Carrots is currently going to work, taking down Jack, and we're still following here right now as the score is 33-9. You're looking at Ignitionz getting the very slight lead here after a minute and a half. It's going to be interesting to see if they can carry it forward, especially though when there was only one player left alive there for a minute. That was Carrots, but now, before you know it, we've got Flair in control.
They are in control, but only for the moment, as the team of Ignitionz are trying to push on down here over onto the turtle. Now, you got Backabek in the hard point itself. It's going to be contested over from the side, from the stairs. His teammate will have his back and then get shot in the back. So that was actually going to be Davo who took down Carrots in the hard point itself. Scoreline is 39 points to 20. The hard point has rotated over onto the lobby. And once again, it is Ignitionz off that spawn. They managed to push on in. They managed to get that control. And they're managing to edge that lead forward. Now, it's only 23 points at the moment, but we've only been... This is our third hard point in the rotation.
Ignitionz were perfectly set up here in the hotel, but it was going to be a huge push by Flair to come in and to wipe them out. And then before you know it, before we can even come back to me commentating here, we've got Ignitionz back in control. 54-20 is your scoreline, and just as I'm saying this, you've got another huge exchange of gunfights right here. You've got Flair Gaming Squad coming back in to contest this hill. IG looking back in control once again, but I bet you that's not going to be for long here, as we've got 20 seconds left. Now let's just keep a close eye on the mini-map, because what's all important in these top-level plays is who's rotating to that next hardpoint. Just over 10 seconds left. We're going to be watching it happen now. We're over with No Skill, who's down on the right side of the map. He's going to be challenged here by Zeus. Zeus in a good position. He's going to drop down, but No Skill. Just a little bit too skilled for him. He's going to be holding it down. He's now in position to clutch these first points of this bar hardpoint, and he's going to be taken out just like that. He did hold it, and those few points are so important, especially when you're in the grand final series.
It definitely is. 70 points to 31 is that scoreline at the moment. You can see these players trying to fight for the control over on the bar itself. But do you notice a little bit of a trend here, Maniac? We had the first hardpoint last series. It didn't go in favor of the Flair team, but they weren't able to keep control in the beginning of the game. It seems to be the same case here, different map, but same game type, and it seems to be reflecting a similar sort of situation in the first 4 minutes of this game.
The difference is that Flair were able to come back at least and look particularly strong, but now they're up against Ignitionz. They're up against arguably the best team in New Zealand. They're trying to prove otherwise right now, but the scoreboard says otherwise. Ignitionz are edging ever so closely to that triple-digit score, and Backabek is just trying to make that happen. He's gone 15 for 12, and look at this squad, all going positive at the moment. Backabek just picking it up for his team as well. You're going to have these guys from from Flair, looking not quite as strong. But Zerkil trying to break the mold, though. He's gone 21 for 13, 2-point streak, trying to make it 3. Is he going to pick up the play? Spots the one outside, but Zeus just going to play a little bit too good for him. You've got Davo, who he's going to be holding down the hard point right here with Jack. Players coming up the stairs, and he needs to watch his flank as well. I thought he spotted that player, but not to be. Now we've got these guys from Ignitionz that are about to break triple digits if they can just hold it a little bit longer, and indeed they will be. Carrots is here to hold it down, so we've got 101 to 51. Double the score here for Ignitionz, but with over 5 minutes left, we've got this squad of Flair that could easily come back if they just pull it together.
On board with the guys from Ignitionz here, holding the remaining scrap time off this hard point. It will be Zeus bouncing back and forth between it. The scoreline is 117 to 51. And you see them now rotating over to this initial hard point. The first hard point in the rotation over at the court. And it is 2 players from Ignitionz that they are there. They're going to be watching over the Spar side as well, plus over all the exit points. But it does seem like the team of Flair are going to be successful in pushing on in to the hard point itself. That's going to be Jack the Bun and now Davo who are holding this one down. The EMP is coming out from Jack the Bun as well, being able to get the assist. Zerkil with the double kill, but Zeus will take down a no skill there. As you know, you're going to be seeing these scores nearly doubling, or previously doubling, you know, the scoreline here. Ignitionz were able to do so on Flair, but Flair can still answer back. There's 4.5 minutes, 27 seconds remaining in this hard point. 2 more hard points, or even just 1 full hard point will catch them back up and, you know, maybe take them in the lead.
Another trend we've been noticing here, Meister, is that it's Ignitionz who they're just a little bit ahead of the game. For that next hard point, they're already setting up. They might prove me wrong here, as they are in control of this court hard point, but let's see if they're going to be setting up for the next rotation. And as I say that, look at this. Carrot's already making a move here, and he's going to be backed up by the teammate down at the bottom of the map here near the statue. That's Killpie down here. Look at the mini-map. You've got 3 players already all surrounding this hard point. You've got one in there. That's Bakabek. This is what is separating these teams right now. They have the foresight to go ahead. They're not too caught up in the current action, and I don't blame them. They're in the grand final. You know, they're getting caught up in these gunfights, but this Flair gaming squad, if they really want to put it to the Ignitionz squad, if they want their chance at another Call of Duty championship, they really need to pick up their game and really start thinking ahead. It is only the first game. It is the hard point, but you don't want to drop a game. You don't want to be that squad that drops the game early in the series.
You definitely don't want to be, but I mean, once again, I just want to highlight the point that it is still mathematically possible. There's 3 minutes, 13 seconds remaining in the game, and therefore there is that much time in points being able to be captured. So with this, you know, it's still up to Flair. You know, if they can change their game up, if they can get a couple more kills, they might be able to make something happen. You see already the rotations is there from the team of Flair. They're set up early. They've got 3 players over in the lobby, but they also have 1 player watching over through these rocks as well. But Ignitionz, you see them easily able to push on down, be able to go into this hard point like it was nothing, pick off 2 kills, make that 3 and 4, and be able to get that control for themselves. They should be able to break the 200-point mark as well from this overall hard point. And, I mean, that was a good setup there from Flair, but Ignitionz just trampled over like it was nothing.
Yeah, it's as if they heard me through telepathy. They were set up very nicely, but look, if they can't hold it, there's no real point. As you saw IG just come in and stomp them. They've got over 100-point lead right now. It is currently contested. Bakabek and Killpie both doing their worst up against this Flair squad. It's looking really good for Davo here. He's going to be jumping in. He did get the kill on Zeus. He needs to do something to shut down the IG squad. You've got Carrots, Killpie here. He's gone to work. He did pick up the 2-piece. Just chokes there a little bit on Killpie, who was able to maintain that hard point. Let's see once again the rotation here, though, Mikester. You've got 1 player over here. That's going to be Zeus getting ready. He spots a player, and he does get the drop shots on Jack, and he does very smartly move out to try and survive. He's going to be following it up with another kill. He was dropped, and then we've got Bakabek here for Ignitionz, holding down this hard point. 205 to 91. It's going to be questionable whether this squad of Flair can even break the triple digits, because IG are looking just that strong right now, getting those long range shots out with the ASM1. Bakabek looking very, very strong. Zerkil was going to shut him down. Zeus coming back, though, to answer with the big 2-piece, tries to follow it up. Now Zeus is actually on the 40 bomb. You've got Bakabek not far behind. He's on 39. You've got Carrots just being dropped there. Bakabek goes for his 40 bomb. Can he get it? Doesn't get the tags. There's a player just there in front of him. I just want to watch him get it, and he does. Nice big 40 bomb to him. You've got Carrots and Killpie both holding down the hard point for the squad. Just over a minute left. Mike's Mikester, Ignitionz are just running away with this game.
They are, and I mean, they only need 20 more seconds to be able to secure this map number 1. And I think this really highlights on what we said at the beginning of the game. Practice makes perfect. Ignitionz, they came back off a LAN victory to come into this qualifier from the last weekend, whereas Flair, they didn't have as much practice as I personally believe they would have been having. I mean, for the last week, maybe 2 max, for what I believe is accurate. But, you know, you see, especially in hardpoint, it's something that you need to learn those rotations. You need to learn where everything goes. You need to learn those setups and just that overall team chemistry to really stand a chance against a team like Ignitionz. And the fact that they didn't really have that much time really shows in this overall scoreline.
It does indeed, and these guys are looking very, very strong here right at the end. There is a few consolation points for the Flair gaming squad. They are able to at least break double digits, which is credit to them, and it is going to come down to the clock, which is another thing that works in their favor. At least they're not getting, you know, completely smashed before the timer runs out. That said, it is a very convincing victory to the Ignitionz squad. You've got a final score of 237 points to 114. Now, Mike, I just want to analyze that game. There was a little bit of a scrap at the beginning, as we always see. It was going back and forth. We saw the points go out to about 60-30, and that 30-point lead, that was the minimum that was the minimum lead to Ignitionz basically through that entire game. And as you saw, it blew out the further it went on. The clear difference between these squads was easily how Ignitionz went to that next hard point. We saw a couple of times the Flair squad were able to go through, but it just didn't look like they were watching the right angles. And even if they were, Ignitionz were able to come in and just basically outgun them.
Yeah, it did seem to be the case, but you got to keep in mind, as you mentioned, you had the cluster at the beginning, but you also had other cluster hard points, like over on Hotel, even over on that bar side, over on that white angle. There wasn't as much contest as you would have thought. It was locked down by Ignitionz, so they were able to take down that lead, and they were able to make it a lot more one-sided, you know, as the scoreline suggested. I mean, we nearly had a 50 bomb out of Zeus. He hit 47 kills. We had then 43 out of Bakabek, so they were playing on fire. The other 2 members at least got 30s, and we had Zirkle hitting 41 as well, and then followed by 30 kills out of Jack, and then the other 2 players over onto those low to high 20s as well. So slaying was definitely an important factor there. Then we did have your setups of that positioning. Ignitionz really just steamrolled over Flares. As bad as it is to say, that scoreline reflected it, and they go up 1-0 in the series with an S&D coming up next. Yeah,
well, the truth hurts, but hopefully Flair can answer back. As you did say, Mike, we do have the S&D next, so those kind of game types, we can see it go either way in the non-respawn types. You guys watching at home, let us know who you think is going to take out the series by tweeting at ACL Pro. We're going into our S&D. I'm in Maniac, joined by Mikester. We'll be back right after this.